From the heated discussion emerged an audacious counter-proposal, dictated by necessity, mistrust, and an incipient human pride. Our response must be clear, Solis said, looking at the other leaders through the screen. We appreciate the offer of dialogue. We recognize their communication capacity. But we cannot allow access to our weaponry. Not at this moment. Earth's security is our absolute priority. Everyone agreed. It was a categorical no, born of the purest mistrust. On the council ship, Lockster, Naelth, and Solari heard the terrestrial message. Frustration and bitterness filled the bridge. They have rejected us, Lockster grumbled. They don't trust us. And, given the circumstances, how could they? Their distrust is understandable, Naelth admitted, though with resignation. They have been attacked. It is the logical reaction of a species fighting for its existence. They didn't know that, for the humans, that distrust was even deeper than they could imagine. Solari looked at the projection of Earth. Their resistance is admirable, but also reckless. They believe they can fight the Kr'tak hegemony alone. They don't understand the scale of what is coming, or that the true threat to the galaxy is much greater than their planet. We must insist, Solari said with a resolute voice. We have no other choice. We cannot return to the Nexus empty-handed. Find a new way. We must find a way to earn their trust before the Kr'tak return to finish what they started. The survival of the galaxy depends on it. The ship remained in Earth orbit, a point of light oscillating between hope and desperation. Earth, for its part, dug in, ready to face the universe alone, unaware that one of its last hopes for survival depended on trusting those who had once abandoned it. The dilemma of communication without trust became the new, most urgent battlefield. Send the following message, Solis ordered. We understand your desperation. We understand that the hegemony is a threat to the entire galaxy. Earth cannot and will not hand over the blueprints or formula for our weaponry. This technology is a product of our singularity and our desperation, and it is our only means of defense. We will not risk the security of our only vital weapon. We will not trust those who abandoned us. The faces of the terrestrial leaders reflected the bitter justice of those words. But the proposal did not end there. However, we understand the need for a galactic defense. If the galactic authorities wish for the galaxy to have a worthy ally, capable of defending against the others, they must prove their worth. The next part of the message was the true test, both for the Council and for Earth's own morality. Demonstrate your commitment to justice. We need certain specific resources, raw materials, and technological components for the mass production of our missiles. If you comply with this request unconditionally and demonstrate your sincerity, Earth could, with time and proof, become an ally in the defense of the galaxy. The capacity to produce more of these weapons will benefit everyone. But for this alliance to be possible, there is a moral price you must pay. We demand the handover of the traitors. Those members who gave away Earth and condemned over 1 billion of our people to annihilation deserve to be punished according to us. Hand over the responsible parties to our justice, or to the justice of a neutral court. Only then can we begin to consider trust. The message was sent. A cry of defiance and an impossible demand from the small Earth to the mighty Council. The alien ship, in orbit, began to process the unexpected and audacious response. The Milky Way, oblivious to the drama unfolding in its forgotten corner, prepared for a war that had begun with an act of cowardice, and which would now be redefined by an act of indomitable resistance and a demand for justice. The fate of the galaxy hinged on the conspirators' response to this unexpected and morally complex proposal. Chapter 49, The Desperate Calculation. In the conspirators' ship, which remained in Earth orbit, the audacious and complex human counterproposal resonated in the minds of Solari, Naelth, and Lockster. Earth's message had not only been a demand for resources, but a cry for justice and a condition that, at first glance, seemed impossible. They demand resources to manufacture their weapons, Lockster grumbled, as the projection of the terrestrial message floated before them. And, they demand the handover of the council members who condemned them. Solari, who had secretly recorded that vote that condemned Earth, projected the names and images of the 9 delegates who had voted affirmatively to surrender Earth. These are some of the most influential and best protected leaders in the Milky Way. Their imperial guards are legions. How are we supposed to hand them over? Nailth asked. The Solari, with his relentless logic, ignored the indignation. Earth has made it clear. They don't trust us. This is not a request, it is a test. They want to see if we are willing to sacrifice our own, just as they were sacrificed, to prove our sincerity. It is an act of faith. Or desperation, depending on how you look at it. Silence settled upon them, heavy with the weight of the decision. The conspiracy they had hatched to overthrow the council for its inefficiency now faced a condition imposed by a species that, ironically, had put them in a strategic checkmate. If we don't comply, the Solari said, the terrestrials will not give us access to their technology. And if we don't have that technology, the KR-TAC hegemony will annihilate us. First the council, then us, then everyone. Lockster replied. Handing over the council leaders to the terrestrials is politically unthinkable. It would lead to anarchy. The systems of those leaders would rebel. But what if we hand them over to the KR-TAC? The suggestion chilled Nailtha's blood. It was a macabre twist on the KR-TAC logic. The hegemony seeks to purify inefficiency, Solari continued, developing his twisted logic. If we, a new council, demonstrate to them that we are capable of purging corruption and inefficiency within our own ranks, and hand over the very individuals who deceived them with Earth. It could be a far more powerful sign of good faith than any treaty. Lockster processed the idea. That could appease them, yes. It would demonstrate our understanding of their justice. And it would position us as collaborators, not enemies. But the terrestrials demanded they be handed over to them, Nailth interrupted. If we hand them over to the KR-TAC, what will that tell the terrestrials about our sincerity? We could lose their trust forever, and with it, the only chance to obtain that weaponry. Solari looked at the projection of Earth. They don't have to know that. We will simply show them with images and video that justice has been served, and that will satisfy them. We must take the risk. The KR-TAC threat is immediate and overwhelming. The terrestrial threat, although powerful in their system, is local. If the KR-TAC destroy the entire galaxy, Earth's trust will be meaningless. First, we secure our survival with the hegemony. The conspiracy turned into a plan of double betrayal. They needed the terrestrial technology to defend against the KR-TAC, but to appease the KR-TAC and have a chance to form a new council, they had to sacrifice the old leaders to the very force that threatened them all. How do we hand them over? Lockster asked, focusing on the practical aspect. The Imperial Guards of Lyra, of the Xantari, they are implacable. There is only one way, the Solari replied, a simultaneous attack that kills them all before they have time to give any orders, and no one will turn against us, since the galaxy is on the verge of collapse because of these useless people. The KR-TAC systems are not the only ones with cloaking and stealth assault capabilities, Solari said. We will need internal support from some council factions who are already unhappy with the current leadership. And the promise of a new order, with them in positions of power, will be a great incentive.